In about 9.5 miles, take exit 17A. Be on the right onto State Route 176 North toward Cleveland.
Hey y'all. Turn it on. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. What's up? I know it ain't 5 o'clock yet. I came in a little early. Can y'all hear me good? Because I'm not connected to my Bluetooth today. So I want to make sure y'all can hear me. My other phone is connected to my Bluetooth. I got to get in a practice of... Hey, Krista. Welcome to the live. How you feeling today, Krista? You hear me? Okay, cool. Perfect. Oh, good. 90%. Great. Almost back. I'm so happy for you. I know it was so good getting back home. I know your family missed you. This is why I don't like going. At least I ain't got to pay no usages today. Hello, Dion. How are you? Dion Corner TV. How are you, sir? What's going on with you? It was great getting back home. I was in the hospital for 5 days, baby. I know how I feel. Trust me. Last time I was in the hospital about something I would have never suspected. Ever. And I ended up being in there for 5 days. Oh, excuse me, y'all. I'm doing good as well. And I'm happy you're doing well. It was a bad allergic reaction to medicine I was taking. Oh, y'all remember you telling me. Dion, what you got planned for the rest of the day? Wait, where do you live at, Dion? And there's 3 people in here and there's only 1 like. Can we please get some more likes and some shares? Even though, is it 5 o'clock yet? I know it ain't supposed to start till 5. So it'll most likely be some more people in here at 5 o'clock. And then we gonna always have our bush people. I appreciate my bush people. When I say bush people, I'm talking about the people that are in the bushes. I appreciate y'all as well. Thank you. It's all love. You already know what I'm doing. Driving to work. As usual. Y'all know the vibes. Waiting for a few other people to come up in here. You in Tennessee? Okay. Tennessee. Are you in Memphis? It seems like everybody in Memphis. That's on YouTube. Are you in Memphis, Tennessee? And were you born and raised in Memphis, or you just moved there? I mean, are you born and raised in Tennessee, or you just moved there? You said, Lord, no. Okay. You said, oh no, I ain't from Memphis. Where you from? Where you live? Or where you from? He said, oh no, bro. Not me. Yeah, I heard Memphis is a rough city. Memphis worse than Cleveland. Ouch. But I think all these little major cities had they things. Not from. Oh, you from Tupelo, Mississippi? Oh, okay. Okay. And you moved to Tennessee. Got it. So how long you been living in Tennessee? Ooh. I never heard of Tupelo, Mississippi though. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of cities in Mississippi I ain't never heard of though. But definitely never heard of Tupelo. Is it a small town? Oh Lord, I'm just yawning. That means I need candy. You seem tired. I'm kind of tired. I'm not as tired as I was yesterday and Monday and stuff, because I had to wake up early those days. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday morning and Monday morning. Well, I'm not as tired, but I am tired. I always get tired when it's time to go to work. I got to get on this road and get to driving. But I got enough energy. I'm cool.
On State Route 176 North toward Cleveland.
Okay, I gotta get in this lane. Y'all like redfish? Hey, Nirvana.
0.3 miles.
Thank you.
Take the exit onto I-90 and I-490 toward I-77 alternate north.
Redfish. Most of my life been in Tennessee. Okay. Yeah, but I like gummy candy. Gummy candy is my favorite. So I've been trying to wait for a couple more people to come in here, but I'm gonna start talking. Hey, Coco. So yeah, so like I said, I was trying to wait for a couple more people to come to enter into the room, and I'm going ahead and start. Um, so today's topic is: have you always been a good parent? And that goes along with: do you even feel like you're a good parent right now? And this goes for people with small children, adult children, pregnant. This goes for guardians. Anybody who has ever taken care of a child, this goes for them. Because you damn sure ain't got to birth the child for it to be yours. You know what I mean? That's for damn sure. I know that's right. Check in with my son. Hey, and that's what's important.
Now, take the exit onto I-90 and I-490 toward I-77 alternate north.
Now, I'm going to ask you, Nirvana, since you ain't here. While you was raising him, was there ever times where you felt like you weren't doing a good job? It's like me when I'm traveling. Has there ever been times when you felt like you weren't doing a good job, like raising him? And Coco, your kids are still kids. I was like, I wasn't at times. Okay. Could have been that more situation. Okay. Cool. I was blaming myself. So, and you said, okay, so you said in times when you was in school, you was blaming yourself. And then, Coco, you said your kids was made different. I wish I could have been in better situations. Okay. And then I always felt like he was a reflection of me. I definitely feel like that. I still feel like that to this day. Even though he's grown, per se, because he's 18, I still feel like, to me, I still feel like kids are a reflection of their parents.
Right lane to take the exit onto I-90 and I-490.
Even when they grown. Because that's the first thing for me. That's the first thing I look at. Like, for instance, I'm going to give y'all a crazy...
Left lane to keep left to merge onto I-90 West.
Way to look at stuff, but when y'all was watching the Jeffrey Dahmer movie, and y'all knew about Jeffrey Dahmer, for years I wanted to know about his parents. For years. Like, I always wanted to know about his parents. About to drive, listening in, boo. Okay. Always wanted to know about Jeffrey Dahmer's parents. I want to know who raised the serial killer. Like, you feel me? Who raised people who murder people and eat them? So, you know what I mean? No matter when something happened in the child's life, whether they was grown, whether they was, whatever age they were when it happened, I always think about the parents.
26 miles, continue straight.
Because your kids are always going to be a reflection of you. And that's without a doubt. So, like, for me, my son is 18. So, I have been through so many different things with my son. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why him and I are so close. Because, You know what I mean? Like, there's been so many times where it was just him and I in life. Like, even when other people was around, it was him and I. No. I was always that kind of mom. I ain't never had no whole bunch of men around my son. Because like when I had boyfriends, it was like long-term relationships and stuff like that, other than his dad. It was two major people in his life, I would say. And like, and me and his dad broke up when he was 2. So, you know, like, as he was growing up, I just remember I did my best. Yes, it was me and my son until he was 10 and I met my husband. Right. So, like, for instance, I was in a 10-year relationship and he was there. But I still want to say at the end of the day, it was me and my son. Like, he was part of our family. And I remember us, like, because of him, you know, I tried to involve him, but it just never, I don't know. It was different when my son was little, but the older my son got, the more separated their relationship got, because my son began to notice how he was treating me and some of the things that I was going through, because my son was more aware of what was really going on. So, like I'm saying, it was me and him. Even with my husband, my son number 1. Period. Period, Nirvana. It is like, like, now that my son is like grown, like, I'm like at this place. I went to divorce tomorrow. It's me and my son against the world. And that's period. That's really period, though. Like, that's my baby. And he always gonna be my only child. You know what I mean? Like, that's my boy. That's my nigga. Like, you know, I hate to say it like that. You know what I mean? But he is, though. Like, that's my ex-boom coon. That's my partner in crime. That's my all the things. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm his mother at the end of the day. But when it come down to, like, our relationship has transitioned and transformed and stuff so much over the years. And I look at him so different now, you know what I mean? Like, because he's older, but he's still my child. You feel what I'm saying? So I be thinking back to when I made, like, horrible decisions as a mother. Like, let's be told, I told y'all, like, I'm real transparent about the things that I used to do. Like, I used to hustle. When I say I done sold everything but some coochie, I didn't hustle. You feel me? Like, real street stuff. And no, you know, my son wasn't in the car when I was busting plays and all, you know what I mean? Like, that type of thing. Hey, Elsa. Welcome to the live. And at the time, when I was doing what I was doing, I knew I was bad parenting. Do that sound crazy? I knew I was bad parenting. I knew I was. I knew that what I was doing could get me put in jail. I knew what I was doing could take me away from my son. I knew what I was doing could... Hey, Brandy. laptop ain't working, so I'm messing up. I knew what I was doing to take me away from my son. I'm talking about when I was hustling. Upbringing. I'm talking about parenting. I'm talking about how I know times in when my son was on earth, I was a bad parent. So when I was hustling, I knew that I was being a bad parent. Period. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I ain't gonna be like, oh, well, I had to hustle to survive and I had to do this and that and blah, 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 blah. Like, I ain't even about to lie. I ain't even about to front. I ain't even about to play no games with it. I ain't even about to act like it ain't what it, what it is. Truth of the matter is, I was being a bad parent. I could have went to jail. Period. His father was not the best guy. You feel me? I didn't feel like it was nobody on earth that could have took care of my child like me. But I was hustling and I was doing something that could have took me away from my child. Yeah, it was bringing more money in and I was able to take care of us and all that. All the excuses that people make when they say, oh, I was doing this for my child. No, you wasn't. You talking about, yeah, I'm talking about accountability, but I still feel like I was being a bad parent because I was making bad decisions. I was making bad choices. And and I hate to hear people just make excuses for doing stupid ass shit or doing dumb stuff. Like, God was watching. Man, listen. When I say God was watching me, I sit down and I think about some of the things that I used to do and the stuff that I used to have with me. You know what I mean? And oh my God, some of the people that I used to be around, like some of the connections that I even got right now that I would never deal with again. You know what I mean? Like as far as people and places and things. Excuse me. And and I'm like, I wouldn't dare, even like with him being grown and after I had stopped doing that and started doing different things, thinking like I wouldn't dare do that. If I could do it all over again, I wouldn't do it again. You know what I mean? And like you say, you talking about God watching out for me. Man, I remember living in this apartment building. And the apartment building I was living in, I was hustling out of. I gotta go hit my little place in the apartment building. And it was 3 buildings. So I lived in a building all the way to the back. And the police used to stay running up in that building on somebody. Used to stay running up in that. When I say stay coming in there, I should be in prison or dead when did that happen. Super thankful and grateful. Like I said, I remember like busting little moves in the apartment building. I'm about to tell y'all a quick little story time. So I was hustling and I was working 3rd shift. So my son used to be at home by himself when I was working 3rd shift. So it was a fire in my building. My son was asleep. He had probably played the game. And the fire had probably happened at like maybe 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So by that time, he had got the game and went to sleep. I had this lady downstairs keeping an eye on him. And my cousin stayed downstairs too, but they really didn't used to watch him all like that. And then there was a lady across the hall. So coincidentally that day when I left out, I had drugs and paraphernalia on the table. And I was rushing and I didn't put it away. irresponsible, being on some trash. Just like, it was like not spread it all over the table, but it was like right there. You know what I mean? Dejan was an older kid. He was like 8. So he knew not to touch it. You know what I mean? He knew what it was, and he knew not to touch it. You know what I mean? And he knew not to let nobody in and all that type of stuff. Anyway, it was a fire in my building. I'm at work. My son is asleep. So I used to sell bud to people in my building. So people get them and other things. So people call me like, I don't see you outside. But everybody had to go outside. The building on fire. Like, what? I'm like, oh my God. Man. I'm trying to call. I usually keep an eye on Dejan. I'm calling her. She ain't answering the phone. I'm blowing her phone up. So I'm calling her. I'm blowing her phone up. Because you know what I mean? Because I'm like, the building on fire. I don't know if Dejan asleep, playing the game. I don't even know if he know what's going on. I don't know if she done already went over there and got him. I'm calling the little cell phone that I had at the house. I had a house phone too. I used to always be off the hook and never was on. All kind of crazy stuff. I'm like, oh my God. Finally, one of the dudes that stayed on the, I stayed on the top floor. One of the dudes that stayed on the floor under me, I called him like, hey, my son at home. And I'm at work. Like, go check on my son, see if he in the house or whatever. He like, all right. He like, but it's the firemen, they all on the steps and they ain't letting us go up the thing. He like, I'm like, it don't even matter. Like, say whatever you got to say, this and that. So I tell my homeboy, like, look, well, he wasn't my homeboy, but this guy that stayed in the building, like, look, I got some stuff on the table. So if they let you slip in before they, like, just try to get it off the table. Because I'm thinking, like, he about to hit a lick on me because I had something on the table. So he was ready. He's like, okay, I'm going to go get him. Because he was sounding a little hesitant at first. Talking about how the firefighter was on the steps and he couldn't get up there. And after I told him that part, he was ready. He was on it. Oh, I'm going to go up there. If he had to bust through the ceiling to get in there, he was going to get it. So he goes up there, and I'm just like, well, just keep me on the phone. Because now I'm calling my boss like, I got to go home. Because, most time when you work, I was working at a gas station. When you work at gas stations, most of the time at night, you work by yourself. You feel me? Like, ain't nobody in there with you. So I'm calling my boss like, you got to come in early. Somebody going to have to come relieve me or something. Because my son is at home and my building is on fire. Like real talk. And everybody is exiting the building or whatever. So I'm leaving my boss a million messages. He ain't picking up. I'm calling the other manager. Ain't nobody answering the phone. So I was about to just leave. Like, this is a part-time job. I don't even care. I'm about to just go. But, I ain't want to do that. Because I ain't know how to lock the door. This Speedway, they don't never close. Literally, they never close. Ever not. They open 365 days a year. So I didn't know how to lock the door. Hey, Lisa. Thank you for coming to my live. I appreciate you. So the guy comes, he calls me back, and he like, I got in the apartment. He like, it wasn't nothing on the table though. You want me to look for it? No. You know what I
Reported
mean?
ahead on
Like,
I-90 West.
so I'm like, of course not. Like, no, I don't want you to look for it. Like, if it ain't on the table, then, you know, it's cool. Just go ahead and, you know, you got my son. He like, yeah, he like, when I was coming up, the door was already open and the firefighter was leading him out. I'm like, oh, okay. And the lady from across the hall had basically told him, like, it's a baby in there, it's a child in there, and the mother probably going to work type of situation. This is also how I found out the law of how old you can keep your child home alone in Ohio. Because I thought I was going to jail after that. So I'm, like I say, I'm at work, this and that. Long story short, I end up leaving work a little early. By the time I get home, they were still standing outside. You know, I pull up, my son get in the car, a couple of my neighbors. I had a big truck at the time, I had a big Tahoe. My son get in the car, a couple of my neighbors or whatever get in the car, and we're waiting. Excuse me. We're waiting for everybody to get in the car. I mean, we're waiting to get back in the building. So, gotta get over. So as we waiting to get back in the building, my son, he hit me with the, Mom, I put that bag up. And I knew he was talking about, like, instantly. I ain't even need to say nothing else. I'm like, okay, you got me. You know, you got me. Cool. Like, you feel me? So, you know, the day went on. We ended up getting in the building. This and that. I still did my 1-2 for, like, some more months. But that moment in time when he told me, like, I did what I had to do. Like, don't nobody know what's going on. Hey, Wellness with Frugal Mama, thank you for coming to the live. That particular part made me feel so guilty. Like, the guilt was eating me up. Because it's like, my son has gotten so used to my lifestyle. My son has gotten so used to what I'm doing that he knew to put the stuff to hide it. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't panic. He didn't. And my son real laid back. Like, he 18 now. So it's crazy. But, like, even at the age of 8, I think he was 8, 7 or 8, he knew, like, okay, this on the table. No police, the firemen, can't nobody see this. The neighbors, can't nobody see this. So let me gather this before I open this door. Because that's what they do. Like, when you live in a building and your building is on fire, they go through knocking on the doors, or if a neighbor say, oh, it's an old person in there or a child in there, they go through bamming on the door until somebody open it. So because my son was at home by himself, that's what they did. And because at the time, I was doing something I ain't had no business. I'm hustling, doing something I ain't got no business, and I left stuff on the table. My son knew to put it away before he opened that door to go out with the firemen. So my point in telling that story was, I already knew that I was being a bad parent because I was hustling. I had my son around illegal. I was selling illegal drugs. Now, thank God, I ain't got no felonies. I ain't never been in no trouble. You know, God was really looking out for me, for real. Like, there's been so many times I could have been in trouble. I could have, you know what I mean? It could have went left a lot of times. But like I said, a lot of my guilt in that moment came from my son knowing to put it away so couldn't nobody see it. And instantly that made me realize, like, this lifestyle not for me. Not like, because I'm making the money and everything cool and I ain't getting caught up and it ain't too much drama. And even though doors was getting kicked in all around my apartment building, and, you know, I was a chick and everything, and it was so much stuff happening. And, like, I was living outside of Cleveland in the suburb, but I was living close enough to Cleveland because that's where I was hitting most of my little licks and stuff like that, other than the ones I was hitting in the building I was living in and stuff like that. So, you know, it's like, I knew what I was doing. I knew it. But when I realized that my son was getting used to it, like, oh yeah, I was like, I can't do this. I can't no longer. I gotta cut this off. I gotta cut this right now because that guilt. So, you know, my son 18 now, and I've
Continue
never,
on the state route to west.
him and I
toward
have
Ryan.
never like talked about that. Like we never discussed it, but I think about it all the time. You know what I mean? Like I think about it like, you know, how bad it me leaving him at home. Oh shit. Oh. Me leaving him at home and all that. When it was time to stop doing it. Yeah, you know what I mean? I knew when it was time to stop doing it, but just my point of like I just feel like so many people make excuses for when they're being a bad parent, and I knew I was being a bad parent. I knew it. I knew the whole time I was hustling. I knew the whole time I was doing illegal stuff. I knew the whole time I was, you know what I'm saying, having my son in harm's way. I knew the whole time I could go to jail. I knew the whole time I could, you know, the thing that I was doing a bad thing to the community. Like I knew that the whole time. And it took for that situation to happen for me to wake up
The state route to
and
west
be
toward
like,
Ryan.
well, how much do I really care about my son? Do I want this to be his life? Do I want him to feel like every time before he opened the door, like it's a fire. It was a fire in my building. And before he was thinking about getting out the house and taking care of himself and making sure he was thinking about me, his mother. Like in other words, my son was thinking about me and my safety before he was thinking about his own. And he was 8 years old. That type of depression, when that depression set in for me, I felt like a piece of crap. Mind you, my mother had just passed away in March of that year. Because I had got that job. I had started working at Speedway right after my mother passed away. So I had just got that job. I had been working there, I don't know, a couple months maybe, when all this had went on. And I just was, you know, I wasn't in my right mind, I want to say, just on the strength of my mother passing away. But that's not an excuse for what I was doing, because I was doing it before my mother passed away. My mother had been sick for 12 years and in nursing homes and stuff like that. So that wasn't an excuse for what I was doing. Let me just say that. But you know, like I said, that just was it was just a wake up call for me. And like right now, like I say, he 18, and I sit back and I think about that moment, and I think about, you know, was that the worst thing? What's up, Cali King? Thank you for coming to the live. I think about, was that the worst thing I did while I was raising him? Because if you, like my son right now, he's a very solid young man. Very solid. Great grades in school. Good boy. Don't give me no problems. Ain't never been no thuggish type of kid. Don't like guns. Don't want to rob people and don't want to sell drugs and do drugs. And he ain't that type of kid. Me and him are very close. We talk about a lot of things, everything for real. He's very open with me. You know what I mean? Like my son and I have a great relationship. Better than most mothers and sons. For real, for real.
And take exit 163.
And I don't know. Like I just feel like our relationship probably is better because of some of the mistakes I made. Like, people be trying to act like they so perfect. Like, oh, well, I raised my children and everything about me being a parent was so great and I never made any mistakes and I never did. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that what I was doing was a mistake. Like I told you, I did it on purpose. I knew what I was doing. It was very conscious. It was, oh, I'm about to make some more money doing this. I could flip, or I could do it. You know what I mean? Like, it was very conscious. So I'm not saying I made a mistake. I'm just saying, like, it'd be so easy for people to like judge you for things that you've done raising your kids and be like, oh, well, I was a good parent, this and that, and they kids is horrible kids. You know what I mean? Like, so let me ask y'all this. When a child becomes an adult, because if y'all scroll up, I was talking to Nirvana, and Nirvana was saying,
exit 163
and this is something that I agree with
North Lake Street.
With her, that your child is a reflection of you, right? So she was saying that when he was in school, when her son was in school, because he's grown, she used to feel
then turn right onto Oak Point Road,
like a bad parent when he got bad grades, when he didn't do well in school, because he's a reflection of her.
Use the right lane to turn onto Oak Point Road.
So is there anything, like, other than school stuff, if y'all can type, if anybody can, it said it was 7 people in here. Keep going up and down. 1 minute it be saying 7, then 9, then it say 3. That's why I don't really know how many people in here. Is there anything that people dealt with as far as parenting where you felt like you was a bad parent? Like, or you can unequivocally say that you were a bad parent at this time. I would say this: most people won't even probably admit it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't necessarily got to say what you did, but I'm a very transparent person, and I really don't care what people think about me. You know what I mean? So I can put it out there. There's no, I don't care, for real. So for me, it doesn't matter what people are going to say about me, because
turn right onto Cooper Foster Park Road.
At the end of the day, if you can see the child the young man that my son is today, I did something right.
The destination is on your right.
I did something right. I did. So, but I mean, I guess it's things that I think about, I was a teen mom. I'm sure it made my mom feel like a bad parent. That's a major one. Making your mom, okay, being a teen mom. Definitely. Now, were you close to your mom when you got pregnant? Were you close to your mother? So were y'all able to have those conversations and talk about it and discuss it? Or, well, apparently not, because you said you're sure. Y'all didn't talk. Okay, y'all. So y'all know I be going to work. So give me 2 seconds. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. Don't leave. Where Sorry, y'all. I got another question too that I just thought about. Do y'all feel like certain mistakes y'all made in parenting, for instance, like if you date the wrong person, do you feel like that is being a bad parent? So I talked about this. Yeah, because I use my other phone. That's why I started going live off of this phone. Because when I go live off my other phone, I always have to shut down the live, and I wanted to stop having to do that. So I have to take pictures when I check the lockbox of like what was in it when I first, like when I opened it up and that type of thing. So yeah, but that's because my other phone is connected to my Bluetooth. So you heard, yeah. Okay, so this is one also. What's LLS? I don't know what that is. What that mean? I'm trying to think. LLS. Laughing like shit. Oh. Oh, I'm like live and let live. Wait, no. I was thinking all kinds of stuff. Oh, okay. So do y'all feel like being in bad relationships is bad parenting? Do you feel like dealing with the wrong people is being bad parenting? Yes, it is. Okay. And Coco, I agree. I definitely agree. Because I feel like, now that's a hard pill to swallow, right? Because I was in a 10-year relationship with a horrible person. And he wasn't my son's father. Not that if it was his father, it would have made a difference. But he wasn't my son's father. And, we ended up ending it, breaking up. But I got with him. My son is 18 now. I got with him when my son was around 7 or 8. Around that same time. And here's the BS. Trust me too. Says me too. And your kids start to, they notice you going through stuff. They experience stuff like, because this is stuff people don't like to talk about, but this is real. This is really real. Anything that affects your children is in a negative way because of your decisions, to me, it's bad parenting. Yes, you made a mistake because, whatever. So I have to say it with my chest. I have to say it with my whole heart. I had to apologize to my son when I finally really ended that relationship. Like, son, I am sorry. I'm sorry. Now, that man never physically, he never seen him beat me up physically, but he heard us argue. He knew what I was going through mentally dealing with him. He knew emotionally what I was dealing with him. Yeah, we definitely got to do lives together. You know what I mean? He knew all the things that I was going through with him. And like I said, and they began to, when we were, I think it's part of life learning. You think it's part of life learning? Okay. That's fair. But I mean, not but to your comment, but yeah, it's definitely part of life learning. But it's, let me say this, it's part of life learning when you know that it's bad, or you know that it's messed up, but you continue to do it, right? So when I got with him, my son was small, and 10 years later, a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years later, I was still with him. You know what I mean? And then I finally broke it off for certain reasons. So, you know, within those reasons that I broke it off, my son still suffered certain things. Even if he didn't suffer directly, like, he never did nothing to my son. Like, he didn't beat my son up. He didn't verbally do nothing directly to my son. He didn't, but he definitely did things mentally and emotionally to my son, because he did things mentally and emotionally to me. So my son was affected indirectly for years. That is bad parenting to me. And I gotta say that I was a bad parent. Actually, he isn't a good example of a strong man. And they deal with him for whatever reason they feel like they want to deal with him. Whatever impression he had on their life, or whatever in the time that you was dealing with him, they, you know, he had that impression on them, and they feel a way about him. You know what I mean? So he may not be a example of a strong man in a relationship type of way, but apparently he do something for them that they are cool with, they good with. And as a parent, you know what I mean, if you accept it, then that's cool. Because how my son is, he ain't about to deal with my ex at all. You know what I mean? Because I ain't about to deal with him, though. So that's different. I don't know who just entered the live. Kunto Duda? I don't know how to read that. But like I said, that's Coco, this is the type of stuff people don't like to talk about. A lot of people is not going to call themselves a bad parent. They're not going to call themselves a bad parent. They're not going to say, I did this and it made my child's life harder. They're not going to say that. Well, I did the best that I can. I was in love and this and that. Now let me say this. In the moment, I wasn't thinking like this. Not in the moment. Because I was being selfish. Because in the moment, I was only thinking about myself. In the moment. All I was thinking about was Vitris. In the moment. What I wanted, what I desired, the type of man I wanted that man to be. You know what I mean? And how I knew that he would get better over time. Because there ain't no way that somebody could be this horrible. You know what I mean? Forever. Like, I've been with you long enough, so you gonna get yourself together. Eventually. You feel me? And let me see what other points I want to make. About parenting. I don't know. I feel like I probably was the best parent to my son. Like, even though he grown now, the best parent I ever was to him is now. And I know that sounds so messed up because he's 18, he's graduated from high school and all that. But the reason why I'm a better parent today than I was ever is because this is the happiest I've ever been. The happiest. This is the most liberated I've ever felt. This is the freest I've ever been. I don't have nothing holding me down. I don't have nothing, you know what I mean? As far as relationship wise and emotionally and you know what I mean, like that type of thing. Like within the last couple of years, going to therapy and, you know, really doing things for myself because, you know, as a parent, bad parent, and I most definitely didn't do all that I could, but I know I should have, and I take responsibility for that. And you know what? And that's the major part in it. That's the major part in it. I fixed it, but you know what I had to do first? I had to fix myself before I could say, all right, I'm about to be the best parent to my son, the best person I could be. I didn't start going to therapy till 2 years ago. 2 years ago. I knew that I was having issues with my moods, and I knew that I was sad and I was having anxiety. And hello, AJ. Welcome to the live. I knew that I was having anxiety, and I knew that I was having depression, and I knew that I was going through things mentally, and I felt like, you know, things was this type of overwhelmness. I ain't never felt this type of overwhelmness before. And you know, this thing that I'm dealing with today, well, last year I kind of took it in stride. And you know, before when I dealt with somebody's death, I didn't go, you know, losing my parents. One in 2014. Then found out my mother died in 2014. I found out my father had cancer that same year, and then he died 4 years later. Losing two of my mother's siblings, you know, within a couple of years of each other. The ones that I actually liked and dealt with. These things are things that broke me down. And truth be told, you cannot be a good parent if you are not solid and whole yourself. It's impossible. You can't be. If I'm falling apart at the seams and I'm crying and every day I want to cut my wrists and slit my throat and take sleeping pills to kill myself every night, like I can't get up in the morning and look in the mirror and be like, I'm the best parent ever, and I'm doing the best thing I can be. No, you're not. No, you're not. As far as I'm concerned, no, you're not. You trying. Oh, you doing a hell of a job. You're trying. But as far as I'm concerned, you're not doing it. Because you got to be solid. Do you know, just like we can tell things in our children, you know, our children know our moods and they can tell things about us as well. You know how many times my son then came to me in life? Not just since he's been 18, when he was 17 and 16 and 15 and 14. And I didn't have to tell him, Dejan, I'm sad today. When that boy would just walk up to me and be like, Mommy, I know you tired. It's going to be okay. Ma, you need to get some rest. Without me opening my mouth. Ma, you sad today? You could just cry it out. It's okay. When he was like 6 and 7 years old. Your kids feel just like you feel. So if you're not whole and you're not one with yourself, if you are not solid, if your mental is not good, then it's impossible to be a good parent. And I stand 10 toes on that. That's my belief. That's how I feel. That's why I can wholeheartedly say in my life, I feel like I was a bad parent up until probably a couple years ago. Period. And my son is 18. I could say this. When he first came and I was pregnant, let's say the first 3, 4, 5, 6 years of his life, maybe, I was a good parent. I don't know. I did good things. But I definitely did some things that wasn't right. I made mistakes. I wasn't right mentally. I wasn't right emotionally. I wasn't right financially. Making bad decisions with money. Finances matter too. Let's talk about that. We had Miss Lisa Stocks, Lisa J. Stocks in the building. I don't know if she's still in here. Miss Lisa J. Stocks, if you still in here, type Peach in the comments so you could drop your link so people can subscribe to you. I don't know if she's still in here. But if she is, on her channel, she talks about finances and stocks and bank accounts and credit and all of this type of stuff. And as black people, we tend to be reactive instead of proactive. And that's something that we need to teach our children. And I can't speak for other cultures and races. And I know there's other people in here. But as for me and my son, and even my mother and my parents, we were just talking about this in the live I was in last night. And I told them, like, I resented my mother when I got grown. I felt like my mother was a good parent. But I resented her when I got grown because she never taught me about credit. She never explained to me what it was to have credit, not to run through credit cards and stuff like that. I did not know that. When I turned 18, I filled out for 10 credit cards and they gave me all 10 of them. And I'm like, I could pay these little $15 here and these little $10 there, and I could pay this. Not knowing that every couple months it's going to keep going up and all this. Lisa J. Stocks, you still in here? Or did you come back? Leave and come back? Definitely, as parents, we need to teach our kids, like I said, to be proactive instead of reactive. Especially when it comes to our finances. Or to their finances. I'm definitely trying to do that with my son. Those things are important. Now, I ain't never had one of them mamas that put nothing in my name and nothing like that. I know mama used to do that back in the day. Cause I don't even think you need socials. You ain't even needed socials back in the day to do stuff, huh? You could just say a name. What time is it? All right, hold up, y'all. I'm at my next stop. I don't think it's gonna be nothing in here, but let me take the bag. This one usually be empty. Hey y'all. No money and credit just 2 days ago. But it is. That's right. Gotta talk to these kids about these things. Hello, Holly 113. How are ya? Shoot. But yeah, y'all, definitely got to do this thing with the finances, man. Like, definitely a thing that we have to look into. Like, I don't own anything. I don't own nothing. I don't own my home. I'm still paying for my car. This to be paid off in a minute. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't own anything. I don't have anything to leave my son. You know what I mean? That was the goal. Once upon a time, like, it's still the goal, to be honest. You feel me? Hopefully I can acquire something within the rest of my time on this earth and have something for him and my grandkids or grandchild, or if he decide to have kids or whatever. You know what I mean? But definitely got to step up as a parent on the financial side. You know, be able to do for him what my parents couldn't do for me. Son was a spoiled brat. You know, he got all the things in life, you feel me, growing up and stuff like that. But and my son is very unmaterialistic. Like, he don't care about none of, like, little stuff like tennis shoes and all that type of stuff. Like, for instance, me and him just went and we just switched phone companies. And you know when you go to the phone companies, they be trying to put you in trying to make you do, are you taking pictures? So what I'm doing, Coco just asked me this. So what I do when I go do what I gotta do, I have to take pictures with my phone. I am taking pictures, but I'm not taking pictures of y'all. My Bluetooth is still connected to my other phone, and it's in the car. So when I'm taking pictures, when I get out the car, y'all just hear the shutter on it. I need to just disconnect my Bluetooth. Because that's the same thing Coco said. Like, you taking pictures? Let me disconnect my Bluetooth. Yeah. Y'all see this truck behind me with these stupid lights on? But what else I be thinking about? But yeah, like I was saying, I really feel like at the age of 41, my son being 18, and maybe 2 years ago when my son was 16, a junior in high school, and I was 39, or actually no, it's about to be 3 years now. 2 or 3 years ago, because it's about to be 3 years, I think. Because I don't see my therapist no more. But when I first started seeing my therapist, I believe, and seeing about my body physically, I was having a lot of aches and pains, and wasn't really knowing what was going on with me. Like, to me, I feel like I started being a better parent when I started seeing more about myself. I was so, worried about everything else and everybody else and all of that, and I just wasn't seeing about myself. I wasn't. In no way. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, socially, you know what I mean? Wasn't getting out. What's up, Rimrock? None of that. Welcome to the live. And that's when I really felt like I started being a better parent, when I started seeing about me. And I started making sure I was straight.
Go past the stop sign, then keep left to merge onto US 20.
Because one thing as parents, people be like, the kids come first. The kids come first. The kids come first. But what I found out for real as a parent, that you have to come first. Because you got to have yourself together to be able to take care of your kids. All these years, I've been running myself in the ground physically and mentally trying to take care of Dejan, when if I would have just slowed down a bit and did a little less and maybe made a little less money, that he still would have been all right. You know what I mean? Like, he would have been just fine. But I was going so hard. I was going so hard because in that mindset, I was being the best parent. But now, when I look at it with a better mind, with a fresh mind, with a freer mind, with a lighter mind, I realize that I'm really the best parent now. That I could have slowed down. Well, hey, Alvin. That I could have slowed down. That I didn't have to go so hard. That he didn't need that extra pair of shoes for me to... I didn't have to work that... You know what I mean? He didn't need... On Christmas, I didn't have to spend that extra... He didn't need 4 coats. He only needed 1. He only needed 2. Feel me? Like, I literally was running myself in the ground mentally and physically, definitely, for years, calling myself being a better parent. Between deliveries at work. Hey, Frank, thank you for checking in. I appreciate you. And now he 18. And I'm like, and me and my son, we had those conversations though. We definitely talk about that. And that's why I'm so thankful, like, that, like I say, I can stand on it. I can say I was a bad parent. It's okay. I can say I was a bad parent. I want y'all to, whoever looking at this now, I definitely want y'all to go back and look at this. Look at this live. See what I was saying. Listen to my little story time. Because you know, when it really dawns on you, and you start seeing stuff in a different light, man, it's the best feeling. It's the best feeling. And I can't make no excuses. I don't got nothing to say. You know, as far as why, when, where, I don't have nothing to say. I did the wrong shit. Period. That's what I did. The wrong stuff. For years. And thank God, my son is solid. Thank God, regardless of the mistakes that I made as a parent, my son is still who he is. I'm grateful for that. Super duper grateful. Only one can imagine to have the type of son that I got. And he just moving along. When I think about the mistakes I made in his life, whether it was for 2 months, 2 years, a couple minutes, a couple weeks, whatever. But I love him, like, I love him.
In 2 miles, continue onto State Route 10 East toward Cleveland.
I be thinking about this too, like, if things would have been different, if I would have had, like, more kids, because Okay, so before I had Dejan, I was pregnant. I was pregnant with twins. I was pregnant a bunch of times, period, point blank, before I had Dejan. And they were all girls because they were all second trimester pregnancies. So I knew what all of them were, like the major ones. And I always wonder like how my life would have been different if because Dejan would have been like, oh, my sister's like, because he knows. And I told him like about let me ask y'all this. How open are y'all with y'all kids about things that happen in y'all life? Like, exactly how open are y'all with y'all kids? I don't know if you adjust your mirror. Reflects the light back at them. I'm blind now. I gotta try that next time. How open are y'all with y'all kids? Like, do y'all kids know about certain things that happen in your life? You know, like for instance, my mother had told my sister and I that she had got raped in a taxi cab. Right, me too, Coco. I'm very open with my son. Like, we have a very open relationship, like as far as talking to him about things and what he knows about my life. Now, still appropriate, you know what I mean, but like very open. Like, you know, he knows about mistakes that I made. He knows about different things that I've done, like things that people might think is crazy. Like, he know that I was pregnant when I was 17 and you know what happened with that pregnancy and stuff like that. Like, you know, I got one friend that she is so ashamed to tell her daughters about the things that she did when she was growing up. But I feel like that's your truth though. Like, I'm like, cause you be so on them about that because you try to act like you ain't never made mistakes. Like, girl, please. Like, do you know how probably much more open they would be to telling you stuff? Like, her youngest daughter lost her virginity and she was very, very young and she didn't tell her. You know, she found it out, I think, on social media or something like that. Basically, that's how it went down. She found out on social media, long story short. But, you know what I mean? Like, maybe if you tell them that you was a hoe growing up, like, they might be a little bit more open to telling you that they want to lose their virginity. They may not feel like they got to sneak around because they know they mama human. Like, your kids have to see you as human. They have to look at you in such a way that they are able to see that you just not their mother, right? I might know too much, girl. With most things, especially with them all being adults now, right? Like, I feel like that's the only way your kids will look at you beyond being a mother. They need to know that you are human. They need to know that you were once a child. Like, literally they know that, but they need to know that, figuratively, I don't know. They need to know that in other ways. Like, they need to know that. Oh yeah, you smoked weed when you was 15. Oh, mom, I did too. But I really like it, so that, you know, I didn't do it no more. Oh, well, mom, I didn't either. Oh, when I went to college, you know, I messed around with a girl, but, you know, yeah, I did that, and it wasn't really my thing, but, you know, I did it. Not thinking like fire and brimstones, you going to hell, like, like, no. I don't know, when it comes to the sons and the fathers, you know, I don't know, whatever sons and fathers talk about, I have no clue. Whatever they might be open with their sons. Who knows? Not a boy. I got a son, but I'm not a man, so I don't know. But whatever that conversation might be like. But from a son to a mother, hey, Jaleel, what's going on? Thank you. Welcome to the live. Jaleel, do you have kids? Are you a parent? What up, Jaleel? No, not none yet. Okay. But yeah, I feel like you got to be open with your kids so they can understand you beyond being a parent. If they don't know that you ever made a mistake in life, and they don't know that you ever did anything that was like a human person, then they ain't gonna never be able to be open with you about the things that they, you know what I mean? Like it's so many people that I know that they kids don't tell them nothing. I thought I heard a typewriter. I looked up around my phone. It was you paying your head. I want to be a father one day, though. That's what's up, Jaleel. Jaleel, how old are you? Not the typewriter, though, Brandy. Exactly. 28. Okay, yeah, you got plenty of time, Jaleel. And Lisa J. Stocks, you had stepped out, I believe, for a second, or you may have just been in a meeting, or because I know you said you were working. I want you to type Peach in the comments, because I want you to drop your link. Guys, I want y'all to follow her or subscribe to her channel. She is someone that I was introduced to from Make This Go Viral LLC. And she has a channel about finances. She talks about stocks and bank stuff and credit and stuff like that. And basically, Lisa, I was talking about another thing as far as parenting, that us as parents, us as, I can speak for some black people, we are reactive instead of proactive when it comes to our finances and when it comes to doing things, for our kids to be set up for life. And I was saying, I don't own anything. I don't own a home. I'm still paying for my car. My car be paid off probably in another month here. But I don't own anything. I don't have anything you're welcome, for my kids, for my son and my grandkids to have. I'm 41 years old. I'll be 42 this year. So I still have time to acquire things, you know what I mean? But, this is something that I wanted to have for my kid, my son. They have one child, and my grandkids, But y'all make sure y'all hit her link, and y'all subscribe to her. She has a very, very good channel. And like I said, one of the biggest things or what I'm saying now, because I want to go back to the financial thing because she's back here. One of the biggest things for parents, period. I ain't even gonna say black people, but life insurance. Life insurance. I know so many people that don't have it. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Don't leave that burden on your kids, man. Do not leave that burden on your kids. That happened to me with my dad. He died of cancer in 2018. You know what I mean? So don't leave that burden on your kids. Even if you get a small policy. I think the policy I got is only like $20,000. And I don't even want to be buried. Don't put me in the ground. I want to be cremated. I do want to have a funeral, though. But it ain't got to be no big, lavish, super duper, crazy funeral. I want my body to be there. you know, put me together, dial me up, you feel me? And then burn me. Don't bury me in the ground. Don't put $10, $15, $20,000 in the ground. I don't want that. But I definitely want a funeral. Dial me up, you know, make me peachy, and then burn me. That's what I want. But I got policies for my son and I, you know. And I think that is so important. We have to be reactive. I mean, we have to be proactive. We got to do things before. We got to think things out. We got to think things through. We have to plan. Not like, oh, Ray dad, come on. What people do? Let's sell dinners. Great encouragement. These things are so important. Yes. I don't want nobody selling dinners over my dead, so don't sell no dinners. I want that money. I want that money signed, sealed, and delivered. I don't want nobody stressing out over me. Pay yourself first. I don't want nobody stressing out over me. I don't want nobody doing that. Because you gotta think about it. When people die, you already going through it. Depression, emotions is high. You know, depending on how untimely or whenever the death may have happened, you know, anything can happen. People might be coming from out of town. People, you know, oh my God, you know, there's so many variables to death. And then on top of all of that, you got to worry about coming up with some money to put in the ground. Come on, man. Stop doing this, people. Stop it. Take care of yourself. Or the self-plan. Retirement. You can invest for the kids. Okay, Lisa. Y'all see Lisa dropping these gems? This stuff that we know, but this stuff that we need to hear. Jaleel, you in your 20s. This stuff that you definitely need to hear. You don't even have kids yet. So you definitely still got time to get it together, to plan, put your money up. When you get ready to get married and have some kids and get all that stuff on board, I'm gonna say just like this. I did so many things the opposite way of what I should have did. I don't regret nothing though. I don't regret it. That was my life. And I'm thankful because it made me the person I am today. You feel me? I'm proud of myself. I am who I am. And I love me. I really do, wholeheartedly. I love who I am. I love my attitude. I love my energy. I love my trials. I love my tribulations because it really made me who I am today. It made me a better person. I don't regret anything. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? But definitely from this point forward, like I said, what made me a better parent was starting to take care of myself. Get my mental together. Get my body together. I'm sitting up here hurting. Literally, my body is hurting for years. And I don't know what's wrong with it. Because I ain't going to the doctor. Oh, it's okay. I'm just, it's vitamin D. I'm black. That's because I ain't getting out in the sun enough. Oh, let me just go outside a couple days and I'll be all right. And, you know, all this type of stuff. Not properly going to the doctor. Not properly going to the dentist. Things like this. Not taking care of myself. Knowing I'm going through depression and anxiety and going through all these things and not taking care of myself, period. And I promise you, just 2 to 3 years ago is when I really started focusing on myself. Right now, at the age of 41, I'll be 42 in May. May 29th is my birthday. I feel like I'm the best me that I have been in, I say, at least in my 30s and 40s. I'm the best me. Because I really took the time out to focus on me. That is so important. You can't fully give yourself to nobody. You ain't gonna be able to find you a good husband or wife. You ain't gonna be able to fully take care of your kids. You ain't gonna be able to fully have a career. You ain't gonna be able to fully, you know what I mean? Just nothing. If yourself is not good. If you can't get up and think straight in the morning, how? How you gonna go on with your day? If every day you get up and you having aches and pains and stomach aches and body hurts and all of this other type of stuff, how you gonna go on with your day? You can. It's possible. I did it for years. But it didn't feel good. I knew something was wrong. But God. Talk about grace and mercy and all of these things. I ain't about to get too religious and none of that. But you know what I mean? Grace and mercy, please. All over me. God was caring about me when I wasn't even caring for myself. People tell me all the time, like, you do not look 40, 41. And I'm like, well, what do 41 look like? Because they ain't going to show 41. So what do 41 look like? Like, thank God I don't look like what I've been through, you know? But as I was saying, go back to what I was saying, y'all make sure y'all hit that link. Lisa J. Stocks. Y'all subscribe to her. She got some good finance stuff on her channel. And it's very informative. Very, very informative. Very. Check her channel out. I was one of her videos I actually shared was the fact that Amazon is getting ready to start selling cars. That's insane. They literally gonna be selling everything, y'all. Not only is they gonna sell you all the stuff to put in your car, do it. Amazon do that. They might as well just have gas stations next. Like, just it's insane. But okay, I don't want to get too far off the subject. But yes. But what were we talking about? Okay, yeah. So before Lisa had stepped in with about the finances, he was talking about just being open with your kids and or your children or whatever. And for the people like Jaleel, if he's still in here, or whoever watching this replay, man, the world is just different though. The world is different. Like how, you know, of course it's definitely different from when we grew up. You know, 82 I was born. I grew up in them late 80s, 90s. Graduated from high school in 2000. And I just think back to, you know, what was going on in the world at the time. And how, I don't know, to me, I don't really feel like anything at that time. Because I just wasn't that type. I don't feel like anything in the world at that time had an influence over my life. Right? Like, you know how you watch these girls now and you see things on television and they look at all the rap girls and the IG models, and they look at all the Facebook and all of these type of people, and they look at reality TV and they want to be like that. So they have so much influence over their life, you know. I mean, because every generation has some type of influence. Because don't get me wrong, you know, back in the 90s and 2000s, we had the video vixens and, you know, all them girls, the porn stars, you know. that somebody wanted to be like, and not necessarily, you may not necessarily want to be a porn star, but you know, you may have just wanted that body, like, ooh, she got nice breasts and big booty and, you know, a nice little waist, or just a cute little face, or as far as the video vixen type of girls, like, you know, you might have just wanted that type of attention, or, you know, that type of thing. But I don't really feel like none of that when I was growing up had any influence over my life. But it's different now. Like, even girls that's probably like not easily influenced, they still look at that stuff and be, you know, still, I don't know. I guess I can't speak for a teenage girl, or, you know, a young woman growing up in these times, but that's all they see. That's it. Like, you gotta have a strong mind not to want to be like that. But I guess that's what people probably used to say about us too. And I used to be looking like, I don't want to be like none of them hoes. But that's how I used to feel, like all of them was hoes. Like, but you know how, like, you look at them now, they be showing them like, oh, look at Sandra Houston. She was on I don't know, some rapper's video 30 years ago or 20 years ago, and now she's a real estate agent and she's a millionaire and she has this career and she's doing this and that and blah 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 blah. You know, like, and you be thinking like, well, back in the day I thought she was you know what I mean? But really, she might have just been a model, or might have just been a dancer, or might have just had a nice body and a cute face and was just in a video. You feel me? You never knew. I don't know. These days, stuff is just way different. Definitely different. Definitely different than us growing up. But how that connects to parenting, you know, just raising kids in this climate. You know, dealing with reality TV and keeping up with the Jacksons and the Griffins and the whatever other people you got to keep up with. I'm back. We had a phone call. Okay. Trying to keep up with all these things. Oh man. But y'all, I got to show y'all something. Look, y'all. I got my cards. Can y'all see? That's the front. And that's the back. Y'all see him? I'm going to do it short or something so I can show y'all better. I just got my cards today. I don't know if Brandy's still in here, but I was telling Brandy, like, remember I was going to order me some cards? I got them today. I can't wait to start giving them out. And I was talking to, I went into the Yemen market today. And said I was he said I could put some in there in the Yemen market. Thank you, Jaleel. I'm all excited. I'm excited. They was a good price too. I got 500. My sister designed them for me. But and I ain't gonna hold y'all too long today. But I definitely just wanted to talk about parenting today. The reason why I wanted to talk about parenting today, because as I said, I've been working on myself and working on my mental and working on, you know, some things for myself. And in working on those things, um, I've been kind of going through. I've been kind of overwhelmed mentally with some things. Probably like the last couple months. Uh, Winter time is crucial for me physically because of my fibromyalgia. And it's just a downer, you know what I mean, to just constantly be in pain and stuff like that. Um, so, and then just dealing with other stuff, financial stuff, and just dealing with stuff, you know. So I was just thinking about, you know, my son. He's always so supportive for me. You know, like when I come in the house at night and I have to, my legs, I have to put my compression things on my legs. He always helped me do that. And then like if I always fall asleep when I'm doing that, and he always like wake me up and be like, Mom, go up to your room and stuff like that. Like, you know, he's just very supportive of me. And I'm wondering, like, I always wonder, like, is this good for him? Or is he ever annoyed by me? Is he ever, you know, having to support me in this way? Like when I'm coming home from working all day long and all night long, and I come in the house, and he's usually happy, you know, he'd be like, hey, Ma, give me a hug and a kiss, and we'll sit and talk, you know, if he's been to work or, you know, that type of thing. So he doesn't seem like it. But I remember times when I was talking and smiling and kissing and hugging my mother too, and I was feeling different ways. And not necessarily about her, but just about certain situations that was going on. So, you know, I think about that. And the way my situation is very, very different. My son and I's is very, very different than my mother and I's, like growing up and when I was 18 and stuff like that. So it's not comparable. But do you think it's a topic? Oh no, absolutely not. No, me and him are very, very open about things, so I could definitely talk to him about it. I just haven't. It's just, you know what I mean? I just haven't talked to him about it. I could though. Could definitely talk to him about it. But I know my son, he ain't gonna be like, no, Ma, I help you. I don't care about, you know. I help you, you know. Cause hell, he'll tell me like, dang, Mom, come on, I'm trying to play my game. Like he'll let me know. Like when I come, when he know when I come in the house, cause I always text him and be like, unlock the door, cause it be dark, and I don't be wanting to fumbling around with the key. You know what I mean? That's when I'm driving and talking, and I don't be wanting to fumble around with the key. So he opens the door for me, and then he knows like when I come in, he'd be like, you doing your compression on your legs tonight? And I'll be like, you know, yes or no. And then he'd be like, okay, let me help you set that up. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like automatic. But I just be wondering, like, some nights do he just not be wanting to do it? And I feel like even if he didn't, I don't think he would tell me. Like, you know, I don't think he would say that. Like, man, I don't feel like being bothered with you tonight. Is this something that I need to do? But, you know, you just don't know.
Keep left. In 1.5 miles, keep left onto I-271 North toward Chagrin Boulevard.
But yeah, today was the day, y'all. This was a different kind of live. Usually, you know, in the lives we be laughing and giggling and having a lot of fun, but I did want to talk about this today, like I said, because it's been on my mind. I've been going through some things mentally, and I've been thinking about myself. I've been thinking about. See, I want to tell y'all, like, a lot of the topics that I come up with are usually stuff that
Stay in the middle 2 lanes.
are usually stuff that oh my God, why is that traffic like that on the other side? Must have been a car accident or something. It's usually stuff that I deal with myself, like, you know.
Onto I-271 North towards Chagrin Boulevard.
So I be wanting to express myself or talk about stuff or, you know, certain things, and just parenting period just been on my mind because I've been down, because I've been kind of depressed, because I've been feeling, you know, inadequate in some ways, and I wanted to, you know, I think about that. When I think about my inadequacies, I think about my son. Yep. So yeah, V Peachy be going through it, y'all. Sometimes I be having my moments. You know, even though I can get on here and still talk and everything and be cool, definitely gotta make sure I take my medication every day. You feel me? Definitely gotta make sure I do that. But I ain't gonna hold y'all no longer. I'm about to let y'all go. I appreciate y'all, my regulars, for stopping in. For the other people who came in, I appreciate y'all. Miss Lisa J. Stocks, if you're still here, I appreciate you for stopping in. I do it live every day at 5 o'clock. This one was a little heavy. It's usually not as heavy. We talk about like some serious things, but we have like fun in here, and we sometimes get a little unserious, and we get a little ghetto or ratchet at times. You know what I mean? We just have fun, period. Whatever you want to call it, we do that. You know, we have all kinds of little fun in here. And we usually have a few more people in here too. And sometimes I have lives because I work 3-4 times, you know.
Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 29 onto Chagrin Boulevard and US 420 to west.
Oh, I'm sorry you lost your child. I'm so sorry. You said if they are fed, happy, and healthy, we winning without mom.
Take the exit.
I know that's
then
real.
Turn left onto Chagrin Boulevard toward Peachtree.
I know that's real. I wish it was that simple. I can agree,
Use the left lane to
but
turn
then
to
kind of in the way I don't. But, you know, I wish it was that simple. But definitely you have my condolences for you losing your child, you know. But,
turn left.
yeah. But as always, y'all, I lost it. Oh, you lost the co-parent. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry about that. My condolences for that loss. My fault. I mistook that. Oh, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. I mistook that. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah, you lost your co-parent. I'm sorry about that. My condolences for that too. But as always, be comfortable, be confident, and most importantly, be peachy. Peach out. Bye.